Since Labour's landslide victory just a couple of weeks back, the team and myself at JSM, we've been inundated with new client inquiries of wealthy entrepreneurs, business owners who have finally had enough of the UK. They've said enough's enough with the way the UK is going, and they're looking at other options. The typical reasons that we're seeing for this when we're speaking to new clients, the biggest one is taxes. Hard-working entrepreneurs and business owners who are constantly being hounded for money through tax revenue, ultimately for it to go to other causes, for it to be paid out to unemployed people, to be paid out on the mass immigration and everything else, the wasted NHS, which quite frankly as a wealthy individual you don't benefit from, and everything else. So ultimately a lot of entrepreneurs said, no, enough is enough. I need to put my family first, rather than basically working for the taxman, working for the good of the rest of the country and being patriotic and paying taxes. They said, no, now's the time, I'm drawing the line. It's time for me to put myself first, put my family first, and ultimately get a better lifestyle rather than staying in the UK and paying an arm and a leg over in taxes. The UK, the direction of the UK is, especially with Labour's win, it's not positive for the next few years, at least until, party like Reform come in and change things and put an end to the mass immigration, the mass wokeness and everything else. Labour have only been in a couple of weeks, and all you can see in Leeds, you've got the riots, and ultimately it's just a general decline of the UK. It's no longer safe. Taxes are ridiculously high. You don't get any bang for buck with NHS. So for a lot of people, it's a case of really sitting and thinking and saying, why am I staying here? Of course, some people have got good reasons for that, but the vast majority of people don't. So if you did stay in the UK, it just doesn't make sense. It's not a good decision, and you should definitely be looking at other options. Quite often, a lot of people don't really realise the number of different opportunities that are available when it comes to be basing yourself in a location that gives you a better quality of lifestyle. More security is massive at the minute with a lot of the Western countries decline. Wealthy individuals, you've got a target on your back, you've got nice things, you've got a Rolex watch, you've got a nice car. You can't have that in most Western countries these days, because you just put a target on your back, you open yourself up to be robbed. We've seen it before, home invasions and things like that. It's not a good place to be. First off, foremost, for yourself and your family, you should be prioritising safety. Dubai is a fantastic example of this. Of course, I bang on a lot about Dubai, and there are many reasons for that. It's tax efficient, you've got safety, great quality of life, year-round sunshine, the list goes on. A lot of people say, well, Dubai is not for me. But okay, don't just rule it out because Dubai is not for you. There are other options available. Recently, we've helped clients relocate to Thailand, where you've got overseas income. So you've got a UK business, a Dubai-based business, you take your dividends in different tax years. You can actually do that with very low or no taxes. You've got the standard examples such as Monaco, Caymans, low tax options, Malta, Cyprus. There are a massive list of potential jurisdictions where you could be basing yourself in, either on a personal or corporate level, where you're going to get pretty much low or no taxation, increased levels of safety, a better quality of life for yourself and your family, and so much more. For instance, if you base yourself in Dubai, I always like to pick Dubai because it's the easiest to explain, but of course, as I mentioned, there are other options available. If you base yourself somewhere such as Dubai, realistically, you probably need to spend 6 months a year there to be tax resident there, ensure that all of your income. So if you're a UK business owner currently, chances are you take most of your money out of your business as dividends, pay tax at just under 40% on that dividend income, plus you've already paid the corporation tax. But if you were living in Dubai, those dividends are completely tax-free. Literally just last week, we helped a client who are regularly taking about £2 million a year in dividends from their UK company. And that £1 million that they're going to have extra, because ultimately through the tax savings, they're going to use that to increase their quality of life, to send all their kids to better schools, invest more, and ultimately just have a much better lifestyle. And they've not had to earn more money in their business. They've just focused on keeping more money. They're going to move out to Dubai, get a fantastic villa out there, and ultimately have a lifestyle where you can spend that much money without living in fear. These guys are coming from a central London way, where actually they've had a couple of cars robbed previously. They've had a lot of bad things happen to them, ultimately because they're a successful business owner in the UK, and it's risky doing that. If you have too much of a big sign of wealth, if you've got Ferraris, Lamborghinis, G-Wagons in the UK, you have a target on your back. You ultimately work hard to be in a position to pay for these things, but it comes a point where you think, actually, I don't want to buy what I want to because I fear my safety. I fear for the safety of my family, or actually just being robbed and having the asset taken off me. Whereas these guys going out to Dubai, they're going to have a fantastic lifestyle, much bigger property, they're going to be able to afford all the opulent and extravagant things that they do want to spend their money on, and able to do so without having to think, okay, am I going to get robbed? Can I do this? Because Dubai has pretty much zero crime. And then all of this has just been paid for through their tax savings. They've not had to work any harder, as I mentioned. They're just basically not paying taxes in the UK anymore. So they've got that extra income to increase their quality of life and build more wealth. What they'll be doing is they'll be spending about 180 days in Dubai each year, probably 3 months in the UK, depending on, this is where we come in and we advise. We look at their overall tax situation, number of days allowed in the UK, how they should be taking money out, personal tax returns whilst they're non-resident, the whole lot. Anything tax related, we look after effectively, and also help them with the Dubai company setup, put them in touch with the right people over there as well for schools, health insurance, the lot. We've also helped clients to relocate to a number of different jurisdictions, because ultimately where we specialise in working with the high net worth individuals in the UK, making sure everything in the UK is done right, because most often it's the UK side of things that's actually complicated, it's actually tricky. HMRC do not want to lose you as a taxpayer. Of course not. You're paying millions in pounds in taxes. They're not going to make it easy for you. So we help you understand the frameworks, the legislation, to make sure that you actually do achieve those tax savings and you don't do anything wrong. If you're looking at moving to somewhere such as Dubai, we can help with that. Thailand, Monaco, Caymans, Jersey, Isle of Man, or whatever it might be, we can definitely help you with that. We've got a network of partners across the globe who can help you with company formations, visas, properties, and everything else. So if you're a entrepreneur who's fed up of paying too much in tax, you're fed up of the wokeness of the UK, you're fed up, even Labour coming in already, school fees, 20% VAT on that, it's making it more expensive and more inaccessible, just to show how they really are going after the middle class, going after the wealthy. Ultimately, the UK isn't serving you anymore, so why should you stay here? If you want to find out more about this, book a call with me below, jsmtax.com. I'd love to have a chat through your circumstances and show how we can help you relocate overseas and save a lot of tax in the meantime.